सहना भवतु सहनु भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय आविराविर्मयेधि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। अखंडं सच्चिदानंदं अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम् आश्रयेऽभीष्टसिद्धये। May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the individual, the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for attainment of my cherished desire. So we are studying Vedantasara. Gist of Vedanta, whatever philosophy that we find in Vedanta is in short it is mentioned here. So it's a very nice introductory script help scripture. So what we have done, that what is creation, how it is created, what is reality, what is not real, that we have gone through. Then what is the means that we have heard? Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. Shravana means hearing the truth and extracting the meaning and to understand what it indicates. And then Manana means removing all doubts. Why? Because the person who is the creator, who is imagining this whole world, and whatever is imagined, that is not real. The person who is imagining is real. Person means the source of that person. So this is a tall claim, and of course not unfounded. It is found. It is anchored, or it is the source is our scripture, especially Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, and Gita. So to understand those statements, that is called Shravana. First one has to hear again and again, and to extract the meaning, and then removing all doubts, that is Manana. And after that, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means living those ideas. It is not theory. It should be practically demonstrated in one's own life. It is practically translated, rather, not demonstrated, but translated into our lives. So that is Nididhyasana. Even we find in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks that Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthita dhikim pravasheta kimashita vrajeta kim. What is the sign and symptoms of such a person who is established in self? And then Bhagavan says it is like who takes their avenues which are outgoing senses, he withdraws totally, completely, like a tortoise withdraws. So that we have already heard, we have already studied. And then what are the steps of realization? So Yoga Sutras are brought here. What are those? Yama, Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Asteya, Aparigraha. That means Satya means truth. One should practice truth in life. Otherwise, it is worthless. It will not be translated into action. If a person lives a life which is full of falsity, he cannot realize this truth. And also, if his senses are not controlled, he also cannot realize this. First, to realize, one should control and channelize the resources that one has and put in its proper use and orient it to the goal. As Kathopanishad says that we have five senses, they are like five horses. If they are untamed, then they would like to go to five directions. But it should be controlled and chastised, and to put in one direction. Then only one can progress in spiritual life. So that's why Satya, truthfulness, ahimsa, n- without hating, so not to commit any hatred towards anyone, Satya, ahimsa, brahmacharya, continence, and then with non-stealing, even in thought, word, and deed. And fifth is not to accept any gifts. That we have already discussed. Then Swadhyay, Shaucha Santosha Tapa Swadhyay Ishwar Pranidhanani. Shaucha means cleanliness. One should have the cleanliness in thought and speech and deed. Then only one graduates in this, or he is competent, then he gains competence. So Sat Saucha Santosha Tapa Swadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhan, this also we have studied. Then pranayama. What is prana? If we hold our breath, then we find some force. Some force forces us to take breath. So that is prana. We can practice this. We can see in our lives. If I stop my breathing, after certain time, then somebody or some force will force me to take breath. So that is prana. Control of that vital force is pranayama. So it has rechaka, puraka, kumbhaka. Rechaka means releasing breath, and puraka means withdrawing or inhaling, and there is a count, number, and then one should hold it. So rechaka, pura, kumbhaka, practice of that to gain control over the um, vital force. Then comes pratyahara. These are the technical terms, but it is withdrawal from senses. Swaswa vishaye asamprayoge. That means when the outgoing senses, we have five senses: sense of sight, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling. So these are always outgoing. To bring them back and keeping in its place is called pratyahara. Swaswa vishay, because these senses run to taste those sense objects. Asamprayoge, that means when it is not used and it is withdrawn. Chittaswa, chitta swarupanukara, then it becomes absorbed in its antakarana, internal organ. So this is called indriyanam pratyahara. And then we see in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Sri Krishna says that how uh, those who are masters, they withdraw their senses like tortoise. If you cut a tortoise into four, but still its limbs will not come out. So, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partham anavatan atmannevatmana tushta sthita prajnastada uchyate. So, what they do? They remove all their desires. They are not interested in the desires because those ultimately will bring suffering. Therefore, they don't desire. Whatever is available by the will of God, that is enough. So, they enjoy their own self. That we have seen. Then, dharana. Advitiya vastuni antarindriya dharana. Concentration dharana means the fixing of the mind on Brahman, the one without a second. Without a second. So that is dharana. That dharana means conceiving that reality. What is reality? When senses are withdrawn, then we have a sense of conception. So this is dharana, concentration. That means concentration is one pointed, mind is one pointed and it is approaching the truth. The fixing of the mind on Brahman, the one without a second. Then dhyanam. What is dhyana? Like oil flowing in one direction without any break. Without it is not broken. Just so meditation dhyana is the intermittent resting of the mental state on Brahman, the one without a second. Only thing, what is the difference of dhyana from samadhi? Samadhi is continuous, but dhyana, at least for certain time, it is concentrated and it identifies with truth for certain time. So that is dhyana. And then samadhi tu uktaha savikalpa eva. Dhyana, what we do, like we have our chosen ideal, we repeat the name of the divine, and by repetition. Okay. So we repeat the name of the divine and we try to concentrate on the form of the divine. By this way, mind becomes absorbed in that object. And if it is done for a certain time, then it is dhyana. It is not that just closing eyes and just doing nothing. Not like that. But it should be absorbed in the object of meditation. And then comes samadhi. Samadhi is for longer period. So absorption, samadhi, is what has already been described as attended with self-consciousness. But it is savikalpa. Savikalpa is not yet totally, sometimes it comes out, but nirvikalpa means there is no vikalpa, there is no alternate state. So anyway, this will go forward. एवं अस्य अंगिनो निर्विकल्पकस्य निर्विकल्पकस्य लय विक्षेप कषाय रसास्वादन लक्षणाश्चत्वारो विघ्नाः संभवन्ति. Now, to, to this path there are some obstacles. So that is being enumerated here. What are the obstacles? Obstacles to samadhi and their removal. How to remove those obstacles? So, the nirvikalpa samadhi, of which these are the steps, has four obstacles. That means torpidity, distraction, attachment, and enjoyment. What are these? Laya, vikshepa, kashaya, and then rasaswada. So four obstacles are mentioned and also experienced. What is this laya? Laya is layastavat akhanda akhanda vastu avalambanena chitta vrittir nidra. So that means this is torpidity. So when one is meditating, one may drop to sleep. Or so torpidity is the lapse of the mental state into sleep because of the failure to rest on the absolute. So what is to be done to remove this? That has been discussed in a shloka, laye sambodhane. So when mind wants to sleep, then one has to awake it. One has to, that's a repetition of God's name is very helpful. Many times we see this happens, but when the repetition of God's name is done, is performed, then mind gets up. So layastavat akhanda vastu avalambanena chitta vritte nidra. Torpidity, that is lie, is the lapse of the mental state into sleep because of the failure to rest on the absolute. And naturally what happens, there is nothing to hold, only when we are to negate. For devotion, we have that help. When we are meditating on the object of our meditation, our chosen ideal, then we can hold that. But when you are negating neti neti, so there is nothing to hold on it. Therefore, this deviation comes naturally. Then we go to the next, vikshepa. Vikshepa means akhanda vastu anavalambena alambanena chitta vritte anyavalambanam vikshep. That means when one is meditating on the real self, then something else drags our attention, and that's a vikshepa. Vikshepa means not continuing on the object of meditation, rather it goes here and there. So that's the vikshepa. So distraction, vikshepa, is the resting of the mental state on things other than the absolute because of the failure to rest on it. Now, how to get rid of it? So, one has to bring the mind back to the object of meditation. So, if it is getting laya, torpidity, then we have to wake our mind up. But if it is getting distracted, then we have to bring it back. So that's the second one. And third is attachment. Attachment of kashaya. Kashaya means it is like a numbness, dumbness, uh, not getting enough interest. Laya vikshepa abhavi api, though there is no vikshepa, but chitta vrittir ragadi vishaya vasanaya stabdhi bhava. Stabdhi bhava. Stabdhi means like it's like dumbness. Um, so attachment kashaya is the failure of the mental state to rest on the absolute, owing to the numbness brought to brought on by impressions due to attachment, even when there is no torpidity or distraction. So mind becomes a bit dumb, not that much enthusiast. So that is kashaya. So kashaya is also like a kind of a taste. Taste means which is not very interesting. So anyway, so the name is given taken from there. So what is to be done? That then we are to uh, we are to get the inspiration to have um, to move to that object of meditation. Anyway, we will come to that. Attachment kashaya is the failure of the mental state to rest on the absolute, owing to the numbness brought on by impressions due to attachment, even when there is no torpidity or distraction. So, any attachment, that attachment to, even say like this is bit of tamasic. Tamasic means like the mind, the pursuing mind has no enthusiasm. That is why it is like dumb or numbness comes. So then we go to the next, rasaswada. Rasaswada means enjoying some bliss. Akhanda vastu anavalambanena api chitta vritte savikalpaka ananda swadanam rasaswada. So what happens, like we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, when his guru Totapuri asked him to meditate on the Divine Mother, he could not. He tried, but every time he tried, the smiling face of the Divine Mother came in front of him. And Sri Ramakrishna was engaged in that. So this is rasaswadan. But then his guru said, try again. He said, no, I cannot do. He said, kyun nahi hoga? Why not? And then he pierced his by a piece of glass, and he made a mark at the between the eyebrows, and then he said, meditate on this pain. And this time Sri Ramakrishna succeeded. Though the smiling face of mother came, but he took the sword of knowledge that everything is Brahman, and he cut the mother into two. This graphical. So this way he got rid of that vikalpa, and he entered into nirvikalpa bhumi. So that's why the nirvikalpa samadhi. No, samadhi rastu. No, this one we have done. So enjoyment, rasaswada, is the tasting by the mental state of the bliss of savikalpa, samadhi, owing to the failure to rest on the absolute. Or it may mean continuing to taste the bliss of savikalpa samadhi while taking up the nirvikalpa samadhi. So this is rasaswadanam. So therefore, four kinds of obstacles are there, which one should be aware of. Now we go to the next. Anena vigna chatushayena virahitam chittam nirvata deepavat achalam sat akhanda chaitanya matra avatisthate yada tada nirvikalpaka samadhi rituchyati. Now the aspirant reaches that state which is called nirvikalpaka. As it is very rare, of course. Generally, people go up to savikalpaka samadhi, but some rare aspirants achieve this also. So anena vigna chatushtayana. Now these four uh, obstacles, when the mind free from these four obstacles rests unmoved like the flame of a lamp sheltered from the wind as one with absolute consciousness. It is called the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So this one we can only uh, imagine seeing the example of Sri Ramakrishna. Uh, Now in Gaudapada Karika there is a Karika. We will read that. Lay sambodhayet chittam. What happens when there is absorption or that laya, that means torpidity. What is to be done? Thus it has been said, when the mind is torpid, rouse it. When it is distracted, bring it back. So rouse it means we are to wake our mind, that not to be torpid or not to be lazy. And then when it is distracted, bring it back to calmness. When it becomes attached, be aware of it. That means when it is numb and dumb, then it is because of attachment with some object, then we are to be aware of it and then wake the senses up, the mind up, and then to join with the object of meditation. When it is established in equipoise, do not distract it anymore. Do not linger on the bliss that comes from the Savikalpa Samadhi, but be unattached through discrimination. Now this is very important. What happens? This is called para vairagya. Para means supreme. Supreme renunciation. And in that state, even he is not attached with anything. He is totally detached. In Chaitanya's prayer we find that it doesn't matter whether you embrace me or not. Only I must have that one-pointed devotion to you. So this we see in the life of Sri Chaitanya and also in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Paravairagya. No attachment with anything. So, thus it has been said, when the mind is torpid, rouse it. When it is distracted, bring it back to calmness. When it becomes attached, be aware of it. When it is established in equipoise, do not distract it anymore. Do not linger on the bliss that comes from the Savikalpa Samadhi, but be unattached through discrimination. As a lamp sheltered from the wind does not flicker, So is a yogi controlled mind. Nivada nishkampa pradipavat. That means yatha deepo nivatastho ningate sopama smrita iti cha Gita. Gita says this, that mind should be steady so much that it is unflickering like the flame of a lamp when it is sheltered in a place where there is no air is blowing. So this is the obstacles. Now we go to Jivan Mukta. This is the fruit of all these efforts. When one feels that one is free from all distractions or all bondages, he is free. And this is the goal of life. And in Bhagavad Gita we see that Sri Krishna wanted to tell Arjuna right in the beginning, but he was not ready. That is why he had to give a sermon of 18 chapters. So what is the advantage of this? Why we should pursue such a difficult thing if it is not available here? You know, people say if you do good, then you will be happy in heaven. How does it matter? And how we know that we will enjoy there? The fruit should be demonstrated here. Fruit should be available here. It is not, what we say, karmanyevadhikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. Not like that. Fruit of this pursuit, that means result of this pursuit. There must be a result. And karma fruit is different. When we do some work and then we get return. It is like remuneration. If we have offered to a company a certain hour of work, then we get some remuneration. We are not talking about this. This is ultimate achievement. What is the achievement? The achievement is we get it here and now in a cash down payment. It's not promissory note that you will get it in heaven. Who has seen heaven? Those who have seen have not come back to tell us. So therefore, we need here and now. And another thing is, such a Jivan Mukta is the example. Otherwise, we would not have known about it. Say Sri Ramakrishna, we have example of Sri Ramakrishna, or Holy Mother, or Swami Vivekananda, or for that matter, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and Buddha. All these who are masters of this, they have achieved that goal, and they live a life of happiness. Happiness means it is not, say, elation. Because of their mental state, they are free from this bondage of this world. But we are not. We are bound by so many fetters. And we suffer for that. But they transcended all fetters. So this is they are examples. They are teachers of mankind. That's why we say Jagat Guru, Sri Shankaracharya. So how to live in this world untainted? Sri Ramakrishna gave example. Like the bird, one kind of bird who lives on water, waterfowl. But as soon as they come out, they just shake it and all the water is gone. And another example is given in Bhagavad Gita. It's like Padmapatra Mivam Bhasa. Water on the surface of the leaf of a lotus. So what happens? It just drops away. and no trace of water is visible there. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna gave another example, like mud fish. Though it lives in mud, but mud does not taint it. So this is the advantage of Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means while living he is free. No pretension. This is Sri Ramakrishna. There is no show. As he used to say, এখানে কোনো ঢং নেই. Means here there is no farce. Whatever is inside, he just opened his mind to the people. He was having the Antarbihari. Antarbihari means who is residing within, and he brought that truth for the people to 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 demonstrate, as it were. So that divinity that is already within us, we cannot manifest it, but he manifested, and he lived life, that detached life. So such a person becomes teacher also. Atha Jivan Mukta Lakshana Muchyate. Now what are the signs and symptoms of Jivan Mukta, who is free while living? In Bhagavad Gita, as we have mentioned, Sthita Pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhaseta kim asita brajeta kim. How a person interacts with this world, how he moves, how he talks. So Arjuna wanted to know what is the way such a realized soul would interact in this world. So Jivan Muktasya Lakshanam Uchyate. Now are being described the characteristics of a man who is liberated in this very life. What is the difference from us? First, when it is said to a person that you are Brahman, or say thinking that I am Brahman, is really? First we don't think about it. So it is called abhavana. Abhavana means we don't think about it. And not only we don't think about it, but we think the reverse. Like we think we are individuals. We are ordinary people. How can this whole universe I have created? It's impossible. So, first, abhavana, we don't think about it. Then viparit bhavana. That means we say it is sacrilegious to say that I am the creator. How can I be creator? So this is viparit bhavana. And then asambhavana. Even if scripture says, they say no, it is not possible. And vipratipatti. Even if it is there, then we have some inkling that like our dream, we project this world. But still it is not fully convinced. We are not fully convinced, and we have nothing in practice. We come back as individual self and suffer. So, here what is the sign and symptoms? It is said, Jivan Muktanam Swaswarupa Akhanda Brahma Jnanena Tad Ajnana Badhana Dwara. Now, Swaswarupa, one's own real self. Swaswarupa. Akhanda. Akhanda means which is not divided. Which is not divided. Akhanda means united whole. As of now, I feel I am divided. Why? I am one entity, this world is another, and so many jivas. Though it is one, say like in dreams also, we see that so many forms and names. So, by the help of scripture and the instructions of gurus, one should get rid of this divisiveness. Jivan Mukta Nam Swaswarupa Akhanda. Why it is being divided? Why it is being seen like this? It's because of ajnana. Ajnana means ignorance. We do not know, so we find ourselves divided. How this division comes? It is because of ajnana, not knowing ourselves in reality. And because of ajnana, our real nature is covered, our Shakti, and it is projected as many, Vikshepa Shakti. So these are two covering and projecting powers. Because of that, we find we are divided. But a person of realization, he has removed his ajnana, and therefore he knows he is the one, the supreme one. So Jivan Mukta Nam Swaswarupa Akhanda Brahma Jnanin. And Akhanda means another division kind of, we have already studied. Like we have division, one is Vijatiya, like horse and cows. Then in the same genre also we find one is white cow, one is black cow, one is say brown cow. So these are the Swajatiya Bhed. And so Swagata Bhed means as we have body, we have limbs. Limbs is different than head. So this all Bheda Rahita, all division absent there. Absence of all divisions. Jivan Mukta Nam Swaswarupa Akhanda Brahma Jnanena. So Akhanda Brahma Jnana. Tad Ajnana Badhana Dwara. So Ajnana is removed. Removed means, through understanding, we understand this. Like on a screen, when we see fire, we know it is not fire, but it is imitation of fire. If we see various ornaments, we know it is all gold, but still we have that, understanding that this is called necklace, this is called earring, different name and form. So this is Jivan Mukta Nam Swaswarupa Akhanda Brahma Jnanena Tad Ajnana Badhana Dvara. Swaswarupa Akhanda Brahmani Shakshat Krite Ajnana. So what happens? He is totally established in his own self when there is no division, united whole, and no trace of any ignorance. Tat karya sanchit karma samshaya viparyayadi nam api badhitatva. And because of ajnana, some resultant evolutes are there. Those are also removed from him. So let me read the translation, that will be easier. A man liberated in life is one who, by the knowledge of the Absolute Brahman, his own self, has dispelled the ignorance totally regarding it, regarding his own real self. As of now, we have doubt. Why we have doubt? Because of ignorance, we have put covering on us, and also we are projecting ourselves as many. But he has removed this ignorance. And who, owing to the destruction of ignorance and its effects, such as accumulated past actions, doubts, errors, etc., that I just now mentioned, abhavana, viparit bhavana, asambhavana, and vipratipatti. That means, abhavana means we don't think about it, viparit bhavana means we think just opposite of it. Though we are divine, but we think we are human being. So this is Viparit Bhavana. And Asambhavana means when it is said, no, no, you are divine, you say, no, no, it's not possible. So this is Asambhavana and Vipratipatti. Even if we know, but we do not have conviction. So all these goes away from that person who has realized his real self. तत्कार्य संचित कर्म संशय विपर्यायादीनाम अपि बाधितत्वात्. That means it it let me read right from the beginning, otherwise it may not be understood. A man liberated in life, Jivan Mukta, is one who by the knowledge of the absolute Brahman. Now this is not kind of knowledge acquired from outside. It is removing all uh, distracting or covering power and also projecting power. So it is neti neti. That means whatever is covering and projecting, it is removing of that. So knowledge of the Brahman, his own self, has dispelled the ignorance regarding it and has realized it, and who, owing to the destruction of ignorance and its effects, such as accumulated past actions, sanchita karma. It is like this. We have sanchita karma and prarabdha karma. What is prarabdha karma? Like current account. And we transact our day-to-day expenses from that account. But sanchita karma means we have accumulated account. So sanchita karma goes away because of it burns. But whatever is producing fruits, that's already started. So we cannot stop that. Prarabdha karma. But when the force is used, then it falls. Like the example is given, like a wheel. When a car is running, and suppose a wheel gets free, then because of the momentum, it goes some distance and then it falls flat. It is like arrow already shot. That cannot be brought back. So prarabdha karma is to be experienced, or we see that knower of self is experiencing that prarabdha karma. What happens for him? Everything is negated in him. He knows that this has no existence, and he is totally detached of that. Therefore, he does not suffer anymore. In the case of Sri Ramakrishna, it is different. He has no prarabdha karma. Incarnation descends in this world, controlling his divine power, Maya. Prakriting tvam avastabhya sambhavami atma mayaya. So for the incarnation, it's not prarabdha karma, but they come like a teacher, like a DSc, Doctor of Science. He goes to a primary class and he teaches out of his free will. It's not because of his prarabdha karma or because of any force, rather his free will. So in the case of avatara, it is different. So let me read it. And has realized it. Yes, that means his own real self. And who, owing to the destruction of ignorance and its effects, such as accumulated past actions, doubts, errors, etc., is free from all bondage and is established in Brahman. So that is the sign and symptoms of a Brahmagyani. And in Bhagavad Gita we see many other, that dukheshu anudvigna mana sukheshu vigata spriha. When something miserable comes, he has no worries. Like Sri Ramakrishna, suffering from cancer, but sometimes he behaves like normal, like a child, and he asks people, and they say, no, no, this will be cured, and he feels better. So we see this. Dukheshu anudvigna mana sukheshu vigata spriha. And sometimes something happiness comes, but he is not interested. And he has no bita raga bhaya krodha stitadir muniruchyate. He is devoid of attachment and aversion, anger, and all kinds of mental aberrations. And he has no particular um, infatuation for anything. Yah sarvan anabhisnehat prapya shubhashubham. So in second chapter you can see other signs and symptoms of a Brahmagyani. Here also another example is given with a quotation of Mundaka Upanishad. It says, Bhiddate hridaya grantish chiddante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishti paravare. When he sees that it is the same divine everywhere, so what happens? Tasmin drishti paravare. Realizing his own self manifesting as many. When he is putting his attention, say like you are seeing a movie, when you put your attention, then only you are engaged with it. But you can keep a distance, you can keep a watchful mind that actually it is not real. Those who are engrossed with that movie, they weep, they laugh, and they are angry. But those who knows that it's all movie, it's nothing, then they are not attached with it. So, if one can see the Supreme, then he is not attached. So witness such Shruti passages as the knot of his heart is broken asunder. That means no reflection, no distraction, no projection. He knows that he is real. And what is real? That in the beginning, akhandam satchidanandam vastu, and all else is avastu. That in the beginning, that okay, just a minute. Ajnanadi and the evolutes are vastu. Satchidanandam advayam brahma vastu. That which is existence, awareness, bliss absolute, and without second. Satchidanandam advayam. Advayam means no two, no duality. That is Brahma. This is Vastu. And Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuho Avastu. And whatever is this, whatever is being projected is not real. Though one can suffer because of that, but he knows that it is not real. Say Sri Ramakrishna suffering from cancer, but he knows it is not real. That's why he is enjoying also. When Hari Maharaj approached him, he said, see, I am suffering this much. He said, but I see you are enjoying. Then he said, you have caught me red-handed. শালা ধরে পড়ে ফেলেছে রে। So vidyate hridaya granthis chiddhante sarva samshaya. Witness such Shruti passages as the knot of his heart is broken asunder, and all his doubts are solved. You know, when we have this idea, people say, I have samadhi, but sometimes I doubt also. I have doubt. So if there is doubt, no, it is not happened. It has not happened. When you see sun, there is no doubt. Doubt cannot happen if you see sun. Seeing, seeing sun, that this you have witnessed sun, there is no doubt about it. Similar. क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. So tasmin drishte paravare. Tasmin, in all being, he sees it is the same truth. Truth is reflected in those. Why? See, let us think about it a little. We have five senses. We see, we hear, we touch, taste, and smell. Experiences are different, but experiencer is one. I experience. So experiencer is one. Experiences are different. Similarly, in our dream, we have experiences. Experiences are different, but experiencer is the same as one experiences in waking state. Experiencer of waking state is the same as the experiencer of waking dreaming state. Now dreamless state, there is no experience, but still whatever experience one enjoys, that experience is the same. So we see waking, dreaming, and dreamless state, it is the same experiencer. Therefore, there is no change in experiencer. Experiences may be different. Therefore, if we can see that I am the experiencer of all the things, then nothing will worry me. From worldly point of view, people may think this is this. But what one is experiencing, there is no doubt about it. So, tasmin drishte paravare. When one sees that the source of all these experiences is one, then one is not worried about it. Tasmin drishte paravare. And because of this experience, all his past actions, accumulated actions will be destroyed. Only the prarabdha karma he has to suffer it out. So we'll stop here. Now it is time. Is there any question? Yes.
Yes, Swami.
Yes, please go ahead, madam.
My question is about, I think it's Sloka 112 or so, where it describes the condition of most of the people. Is that true that most of us are in that same situation?
Which number?
I think it was 11, 12, or 13. I don't have my pen with me. You can go back, scroll. No, it would be 13. Thank you for going back.
Which one?
13.
213.
Yes, but that whole grouping there
Okay.
of 11, 12, and 13 are discussing like the places that where we can get trapped, is what my understanding. Is that correct?
213.
Like starting with 11.
Rasaswada.
Shake shot.
Yeah, 4.
11,
Laya,
12, 13.
Laya, Vikshepa, Kashaya, and Rasaswada. Laya means torpidity, that means absorption in sleep.
Right.
That we many times it happens. Many
That'd be
times,
like Thomas, right?
no, for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Most of the, not everybody.
No, Thomas meaning like torpidity, sleep.
Um, laya means like getting abst- absorbed in something which is not uh, real. So here is that lapse of the mental state into sleep. So, like when we do japam, what
Yeah.
happens? We are meditating on our chosen ideal. Then we sleep because of maybe tiredness, maybe something else. So it is not enthusiastic enough. That is why we need to wake up and tell the mind not to sleep. So this is the Karika says that laye sambodhayat chittam. Laye sambodhayat chittam. That you are wake, the chitta. Chitta means your awareness. Another thing, uh, we have reflected awareness. Reflected um, chitta. Chit means it is chit means awareness or chaitanya. But chitta as if we are aware. As of now, whatever transactions that we are transacting, whatever we are dealing, whatever we are doing, it is happening as if we are awake. It is like this. In our dream, what happens? We think that we are awake in our dream, but later we understand, oh, we are not awake. Similarly, when we are really awake, then we'll see, oh, this was not wakefulness. The real wakefulness, it is only reflection of that. This awareness that we have now, it's only reflection of that awareness. It is not a real awareness. When mind is totally concentrated, and then it is that chitta, that awareness, absolute awareness. But this is only a reflection. See, like sun is the example of real absolute awareness. But when the rays are emitted, we also see things. So it is emitted. Our dealing happens in emitted awareness. That's why chitta, as if aware. So chitta, whatever is there, this is our instrument. We have to use this. So sambodhayat chittam, that we wake up please and concentrate there. It is like entering into sun. It is like entering into the ocean. It is like grihakasha, the space encircled in anything like house. When the barrier is broken, then it is united with the absolute akasha. So anyway, laya, then we have to invoke our chitta. Please wake up and concentrate. Then comes laya, then vikshepa. Vikshepa means getting attached with something else, not our object of meditation or our real self. Object doesn't mean outside, our real self. So if it is attracted to something else, then it is vikshepa. Third, third is called kashaya. Kashaya not getting interest. Like this morning happened, like this. Then we have to keep a, you know, that hunter, no, not hunter, what is that called? Lashes. We have to wake up our mind and give a few lashes. So, like, big, big shape, big shape. Then comes kashaya. So, numbness or dumbness of mind. So, we have to again wake up our mind. Then rasaswadana. Rasaswadana, whatever, if mind is concentrated, then we get a little joy. One should not be attracted to little joy. And therefore, that also is to be abandoned. There we are to use our vairagya, renunciation, that this is only alpa. Nalpe sukham asti, bhumaiva sukham. There is no real joy in small portion of enjoyment or bliss. Let me inspire myself to get a higher awareness. So this is big, that laya vikshepa and kasaya, and then rasa swadana. One should not be engaged in little things. When mind is concentrated, say even when we are reading, mind is concentrated, we want to enjoy that. One should not stop on the way. I think that is what is written here.
Thank you. I realize as you've explained it that shlokas 11 and 12 are the ones I'm asking about. You know, is this the normal state for most of us in the Bhavaharaka plane?
Normal state, yes. For us, yes, we are also trying from our standpoint. Yes, from that standpoint, yes. We have also um, of that. Yes. After that, after attaining the goal, then how he behaves, that is Jivan Mukti. While living, he is free. He is free while still he is living. Why he is living? Because of past prarabdha karma, accumulated a result of actions. So still that is to be fructified. Like arrow, it is already shot, so it should reach the destination. Then it will stop. So what happens after realization? So one becomes free, but still he is living, and he can enjoy that state. Enjoy means not like our enjoyment. We eat and we enjoy. Not that. Being that state, you are free. Suppose you are free, no obligations at all. What happens? We can extend this. Say like uh, a family man has got so many callings. He has to go take to his ward to school and go for shopping, for this and that, and then office, and so many duties. He's bound. But say a sannyasi is not bound by that. So we can extend that when there is no bondage at all. So what will happen? How he live? Because he has taken a birth, so this body will continue. Everything from outside it looks like same, but from within he understands that naiva kinchit karomiti yukta manyeta tattvavit. The knower of self knows that I am not doing anything. Pashyan, grinnan, ashnan, gachan, swapan, swasan, pralapan, visrijan, unmishan, nimishannati. Everything is happening. He's eating, he's drinking, he's breathing, and he's even closing his eyes and opening, but he knows that in reality nothing is happening. No, no, that's a different thing. Yeah, he knows that he's not doing anything. Naiva kinchit karomiti yuktam anneta tattvavet. Pashyan, jigran, ashnan, gachan, sopan, swasan, pralapan, visrijan, unmishan, nimishan napi. Though everything is happening, but he knows that he is not doing anything. Then who is doing? Indriyasya indriyasyarthi. Senses and sense objects are interacting and he is watching. Say, I gave the example of a movie. A movie is happening, people are weeping or laughing, but if you know it is all false, then you will not be affected by it. Though you are also witnessing like that. So, after realization, if anyone lives, then how it looks like? Jivan Mukta. He is free, but still he is living a life. And luckily, we have such people so that we understand, okay, this is the situation. Okay.
Thank you.
Om
Gemma.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishnaarpanamastu. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste, ma'am.
Pranam.
Thank you, Swamiji. Jai Ma.
Thank you.